When starting on a brand new project, you're going to want to go to WeVideo first off. When you get to the WeVideo main website, it'll ask if you want to start with a template. You'll see that the very first template is the one that I made for you right here. So if you click on that, it will allow you to use the template that I've set up for you from the first place, which is what I would recommend. Now it asks where you want to save things. It doesn't really matter where you save things as long as you remember where it is. So I'm going to keep it right here in the first one that they have, and I'm going to say start editing. Now you see that the video that they come up for you is the very first one that I created right here. This is my video right here. If you were to hit enter on this, it'll start playing it right there. So let's break down all the different things that are on here. One of the first things that you're seeing is a moving text. If you want to find more moving text, you click on text up here. And then to get moving text like the one that is right there, because it's not stationary, that would be static. Instead, you want motion, and you can look down here, and you could drag that onto the timeline. You have to be careful when moving this onto the timeline because anytime you put it on there, there's a certain minimum amount it has to be there. If I resize it by clicking and reshaping, you'll notice it won't go any bit less than that. That's the shortest time. So if I play on that, you can see how quickly it comes up and then it goes away. It doesn't work very well without that. So I already made some custom ones for you. And if you want to change what's on there, you could just double click on it and then change all the individual text on all of them. So that's one thing that you can do. You can keep the thing where it says question and add your own question to it. You can keep the thing that says hypothesis and change to your own right there. And at the very end, you can also change where it says conclusion and make your own conclusion right there. In between, I would like for you to describe what the procedure is. So if we go along, all of these videos are ones that I got from what's called the stock media on here. Instead of you getting it from the stock media like the way I did, I would instead like for you to film your own videos and then upload them to here, which I can talk about how to do it in a separate video. Once you get your videos onto the timeline, you can click on them and resize them as long as you want to try to make sure that the entire thing is less than 1 minute. You can see on the timeline over here, it's set up so it's about every 5 seconds or so, and it's just less than 50 seconds total, which is right around where I'd like it to be. What I did was I have text going on over it. Now the text doesn't match up exactly what my voiceover says, but it's on there pretty good. And if you want to change what's on there, it says subtitle boxed. You could just double click on there, and you can retype your own stuff there. You can also click on it to move it up or down if you'd like to, or you could resize it by making it bigger by moving it right or left as well. So now that I have all the videos on there and all of the videos matches to what it's talking about, I'm all set in terms of visually. But how about for audio? What I can do here is this is where I recorded my voiceover. The way you can do that is by clicking on audio. Actually, no, it's not audio, my mistake. What you need to do is, pardon me, go to My Media. When you go to My Media, you can either click on Record, which is what I'm doing recording this entire video, by the way, or you can click on Narrate. If you click on Narrate, it'll open up the voice recorder. And then you can click on this, click on Record, and then it'll play your video back for you, and you can talk over the video while it's playing, which is a pretty cool trick that it can do. Once that happens, you can save it on the timeline, just like mine is right here. If you want to have an extra one, you'll see over here, there's this one layer right here for video 2, which has all my subtitles on here. That's layered on top of video 1. The way you imagine is this is on top of it because the subtitle is on top of the plant. If I were to flip-flop these and move that one underneath, the subtitle underneath, and that on top, when you watch it, you'll see how what I did was you can no longer see it on top of it. So it doesn't work the same way. So I'm going to hit Control Z a couple times until it goes back to the way it was, and now it's all set up correctly. So these are for the video timelines. For the audio, it kind of works in a similar way. You want on one track it to have the voiceover. And then underneath, I also have some music in the background. Now the music, you'll notice I put very low, all the way down to about 11% or less, because we barely want to be able to hear that, otherwise it will overpower your voiceover work that you have up here. And then I also did this little trick where if you double click on it, or click on it once, you can click anywhere on that and create new dots on there that you can move around, and you can play around with the sound levels on it. And you can see how I start to have it go from 100 all the way down to 0, so it kind of fades out at the very end, and you can hear that at the very end after the... They're going to wither and die. So that the music has a nice like ending point right there as it fades out, which is kind of cool as well. So right here we have everything that we need for this video. It's all set. You have your own footage on here. You have your own voiceover recording. You have your own information in all of these. Now it's finally time to finish our video. So now that we're all done with it, we're going to click on finish right here. When you click on finish, you'll have to come up with a name for it. So you can have your name on it if you would like to, or you can just say water experiment video, something like that. Afterwards, you're going to want to click on HD. You're definitely going to want to click on this right over here where it has an option for you to click on Google Drive. You'll click on there, and then you'll click on export, and it will send your video off. And then when you're done with that, it will appear in your drive.